wabarakatuh. My name is Azlan. We have been given a task by Miss INFAZA. It was a case study about Chapter 5 and Chapter 6. So now, my friend and I are going to explain about Chapter 5. Meanwhile, the other two will explain about Chapter 6. So, let's get going. In this question, it said that we have an 8-line to 3-line priority encoder circuit with the input denotes until D7 and the outputs are A, B, C. It says here that A is MSB and C is LSB. So it means that A will sit at the back and C will sit at the front because it was the less significant binary and it's the more significant binary. Okay, so before we answer this question, first of all, we must do a truth table according to this question. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nu'atira binti Muhammad. Okay, now I will show you how to answer question in Chapter 5 in front of binary. We have done with the constructing of truth table or BCD table. So let's answer some question that was given. Okay, in question A, it said that all input are in logic 0 state. Okay, so in the truth table, there was no all input in low state. So we must imagine it ourselves that when DO until D7 in a low state. So what is the status of the output? Okay, it says here that when it says here that D7 having the highest priority. It means that even all the input is activated, we must prioritize D7 because it have higher priority in this encoder. Okay, so the output will be the output for D7. So we must take the output for D7 which is low, low, low. So the answer for A is low, low, low. For question B, it said that D1 to D4 are in logic 1 state and D5 to D7 are in logic 0 state. So D1 until D4 in a logic 1 state. Logic 1 state here means that it was in high state. So D1 until D4, D1 until D4 in a logic 1 state and D5 until D7 are in logic 0 state. Okay, for the explanation for this is the same as the A because the only activated input is D5 until D7. because D7 having the highest priority, so the output will be the output for D7, which is low, low, low. So the answer for question B is low, low, low. Meanwhile, this question C say that D7 is in logic 0 state and the logic status of other input is not known. The logic status of the other input is not known is X. Okay, so in the truth table, we can see that D7 in the logic 0 state here, and all the logic status of other input is not known here. So the output will be low, low, low. So this is the answer for the third question. Okay, that's all for chapter 5. Thank you.
Based on the question given, the 100 kHz square waveform is applied to the clock input of the flip-flop. If the Q output is initially 0, draw the Q output waveform in two cases. Also determine the frequency of the Q output in the two cases. Okay, this is the square waveform for the question. This diagram shows that this is a PGT and this diagram is a NGT. When there is no bubble, the clock is activated by PGT, and when clock has bubble, clock is activated by NGT. We list all the input and output. G, K, Q, and Q bar. Okay, from the question, it says that Q output is initially 0. Q output is initially 0. Q output is connected to K, so automatically K is 0. Next, if Q equals to 0, Q bar will opposite value from Q. It means Q bar will be 1. Then we see that Q bar is connected to J. Automatically J will also be 1. It is high. Because of this figure has a bubble at this clock, so it will choose the negative side, B, D and F and so on. Okay, so here if K will toggle at B, so it will become like this, and then next is D, this, and okay, next is F. So the Q bar is attached to J, while Q is 1, Q is 0, so Q bar will be 1, and then J will also be 1. Because J is attached to Q bar, so J is 1, and then it will change at the negative side, at B, so be here, and at the negative side B will change to 0 like this, and next is D, and next is F. Okay, this is J and K. Okay, next is same goes to Q and Q bar. You just follow what is happen at J and K. Okay, next is for PGT. PGT is from this diagram. We can see that there is no bubble. So it will active at it will toggle at the positive side. Here, A, C, E, and G. So from this PGT, from this diagram, we first from the question it shows that it says that Q is 0. So Q is 0. Q is connected with J, so J is also 0. Meanwhile, for Q bar, it is opposite than Q, so it is 1. So we saw that Q bar is connected to K, so K is also 1. From this, the positive side, it will toggle at the positive side. So the positive side is A, C, E, and G. So it will change right up here and C. Go here. Choose E and okay, like this. Okay, for if the input is 1, so it will activate at A. The next is for Q. Q is same as J because it was connected with J. Meanwhile for Q bar, it was connected with K, so it will same as K.
You know I want you. It's not a secret I try to hide. I know you want me, so don't keep saying our hands are tied. You claim it's not in the cards, and fate is pulling you miles away and out of reach from me. But you're here in my heart, so who can stop me if I decide that you're my destiny?